Close your eyes for a moment. Hear that soft crackle of the television as Saturday morning cartoons fill the room. The sun's peeking through floral curtains, and you can almost smell the mix of pancakes, coffee, and sugary cereal. 8. Back then, life felt slower, simpler. A time when treats weren't just food, they were moments that defined childhood. The 1970s were a golden age for kids in America. Grocery aisles overflowed with new ideas, new flavors, and wild marketing dreams. Every product came with a promise to make snack time a little more magical. But as the decades rolled by, many of those beloved foods quietly disappeared. Today, we're returning back the clock to rediscover 10 foods every American kid loved in the 70s, but you can buy anymore. So, pour yourself a cold glass of milk, maybe grab a cookie, and let's take a sweet, nostalgic trip down memory lane. Penn Kellogg's concentrate cereal in the early 1970s. Before breakfast became about sugar and cartoon mascots, Kellogg's offered something truly different: concentrate cereal. It came in a small gold box, simple and serious looking, with tiny flakes packed so densely that a few spoonfuls could fill you up. To kids, it looked mysterious. The box felt almost grown up. Some parents bought it because ADS promised more protein per ounce than any other, yet somehow the taste nutty, malty, slightly sweet won kids over too. There was a certain ritual to eating it. You'd open that tiny box, pour a small handful, and watch those golden flakes soak up milk like little sponges. Unlike the flashy cereals to come, concentrate had a quiet charm, like the sensible cousin who didn't need bright colors to impress. By the late 70s, though, the tide had turned. Kids wanted toys in boxes and marshmallows that floated. Concentrate couldn't compete with the likes of Cap'n Crunch and Count Chocula. Kellogg's quietly discontinued it, and an era of simple breakfasts came to an end. Still, those who remember it swear it was the best-tasting healthy cereal ever made. 9. Pizza Spins. If you were a kid in the 70s, you'd still remember that smell. The unmistakable scent of Pizza Spins, made by General Mills. These crunchy, wheel-shaped snacks promised the flavor of pizza in every bite. Each bag opened with a puff of oregano and cheese that could fill the whole room. The shapes looked like little gears, and kids loved stacking them, spinning them, or wearing them on their fingertips before eating. Commercials showed happy kids munching Pizza Spins while watching cartoons like Scooby-Doo. They were perfect for lunchboxes, after-school snacks, or Saturday afternoon TV marathons. But by 1975, Pizza Spins were gone. No official reason was ever given, though it's likely they were simply outpaced by newer chip brands. Still, anyone lucky enough to taste that crunchy pizza in a bag magic has never forgotten it. Bon Nestle's triple-decker bar, there were candy bars, and then there was the triple-decker. Imagine 3 perfect layers of chocolate stacked together: milk, white, and a sweet, creamy top. Each bite melted in your mouth like a slow symphony of cocoa. Introduced in the early 70s, the bar was pure decadence. Came in a shiny wrapper that made you feel fancy just holding it. So many kids remember buying it after school for 25 cents, unwrapping it slowly to savor every layer. But by the end of the decade, it vanished. Nestle quietly stopped making it, perhaps because the multi-layer process was expensive. Or maybe it was just too sophisticated for the Sugar Rush crowd. Whatever the reason, the triple-decker lives on as a kind of legend. The candy that proved chocolate could be art. 7. Nabisco Giggles Cookies. Before Oreos took over lunchboxes, there were Giggles, the cookies that smiled back at you. 2 happy faces pressed around chocolate tan vanilla cream like a sugary grin waiting to brighten your day. They first appeared in the mid-70s, marketed toward kids who loved fun, playful snacks. You could pop them in your mouth whole or twist them apart to eat the filling first, a sacred childhood ritual. Every bite had that perfect crunch followed by a creamy, sugary burst. Moms loved them because they seemed wholesome enough for lunchboxes, and kids loved them because they made snack time fun. By the early 80s, though, Nabisco pulled the plug. Simpler cookies were cheaper to produce, and Giggles didn't fit the changing market. But anyone who ever opened a lunchbox to find those smiling faces knows just how much joy a simple cookie could bring. 6. Space Dust Cosmic Candy. Long before Pop Rocks ruled the playground, there was Space Dust, the candy that made your tongue feel like it was in orbit. Sold in small, neon-colored packets, it looked like harmless sugar crystals. Then you poured it on your tongue, and boom, It fizzed, popped, and sparkled. It was magic, like tasting electricity. Kids loved daring each other to dump the whole packet at once. The brand leaned into the space craze of the 70s astronauts, moon landings, cosmic wonder. But the fun didn't last. Rumors spread that Pop Rocks and space dust were dangerous, that kids could explode if they drank soda with them. The myth was false, of course, but the damage was done. By the early 80s, space dust was pulled from shelves. Still, for one shining moment, it felt like candy from another planet. 5 Libbyland for Adventure. These meals were designed especially for children, each tray with bright packaging, cartoon mascots, and theme names like Pirate Picnic or Safari Supper. Inside, you'd find things like spaghetti, corn, pudding, and a meat patty shaped like a star or a treasure chest. Kids would peel back that foil and feel like they were dining in their own world. Commercials promised fun that tastes good. And in a way, they were right. Sitting in front of the family TV, fork in hand, you felt grown-up, independent. But as microwave meals evolved and fast food chains grew, Libbyland couldn't keep up. By the early 80s, the company discontinued the line. Yet, for a generation of kids, those colorful boxes turned dinner into a little moment of magic. For General Mills, sir, Great Fellow cereal. Among the wildest cereals of the 70s was Sir Grapefellow, British pilot-themed cereal that tasted, get this, like grapes. Yes, grape-flavored cereal. It had a rival, Baron von Redberry, who was strawberry-flavored, and the two fought in cartoon ads that kids adored. The boxes were works of art, vivid purple plains, dogfights in the sky, and plenty of charm. Kids collected the cereal box cutouts and memorized the jingles. While the flavor was polarizing, the creativity was off the charts. It was part of a time when cereal wasn't just breakfast, it was entertainment. Fortunately, grape flavor didn't have staying power. By the late 70s, both cereals were grounded for good. But if you ever had a bowl, you'll never forget that one-of-a-kind taste of the purple skies of breakfast. 3. Marathon Bar. The Marathon Bar wasn't just candy, it was a challenge. 8 inches of braided caramel coated in rich milk chocolate. The wrapper even had a ruler printed on it, bragging about its length. Introduced by Mars Company in 1973, it quickly became a hit among kids and adults alike. The chewy caramel lasted forever. You could nibble at it during a movie, a baseball game, or on a long car ride. Its mascot, a cowboy named Quick Carl, appeared in commercials daring viewers to make their marathon bar last. For many kids, finishing one was a badge of honor. But by 1981, Mars discontinued it, saying it didn't fit with modern production lines. For candy lovers, it was a heartbreak. To this day, fans still share memories online, trying to recreate that perfect combination of stretch and sweetness. If you ever had one, you know it wasn't just candy, it was an experience. 2 peanut butter boppers in the late 70s. General Mills tried to reinvent the peanut butter snack, and they succeeded with peanut butter boppers. Imagine a creamy peanut butter center, rolled in chocolate chips, or crunchy graham coating. They came in bright wrappers that practically shouted from the shelves. Parents thought they were wholesome, while kids knew they were really just dessert. Every bite was a perfect balance: soft, chewy, sweet, and nutty. They made lunch boxes cooler and after-school hunger disappear, but the magic didn't last. The production process was expensive, and the bars had a short shelf life. By the mid-80s, they were gone, another sweet casualty of the snack wars. Still mention peanut butter boppers to anyone who grew up in that era, and watch their eyes light up. They'll tell you nothing has ever tasted quite the same. 1 Wonka Oompas, and finally at the top of our list, Wonka Oompas. Inspired by the movie Willy Wonka and the Chocolate Factory, these candies were pure imagination. Chewy chocolate-tan peanut butter centers covered in a colorful shell, kind of like a giant M&M, but richer and dreamier. Released by the Willy Wonka Candy Company, Oompas captured everything kids loved about the movie: color, playfulness, and a hint of mischief. The ads were whimsical, the packaging eye-catching, and the candy simply unforgettable. They only lasted a few short years before fading away, replaced by other Wonka creations. But they left behind a legacy, a reminder of a time when candy wasn't just a treat. It was storytelling. For 70s kids, opening a pack of Oompas felt like stepping into the chocolate factory itself. There you have it, 10 unforgettable foods from the 1970s that shaped childhoods across America. They weren't just snacks. They were moments in time, shared with friends at school, family at the dinner table, or alone in front of the TV with your favorite cartoon. Sure, the packaging was bright, the flavors wild, and the ideas sometimes strange, but that's what made the decade so special. It was a time when creativity came first, when food could be fun, and when every bite told a story. Maybe we can't buy these treats anymore, but the memories? Those are still right there waiting to be savored again. If this stroll down memory lane made you smile, don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe to American Rewind for more nostalgic stories from the golden days of American life. Until next time, keep those memories sweet and the past alive.